Hi everyone, this is Saikumar Agaram talking to you from the New York Tri-State area. I live in New Jersey and I work for JP Morgan Chase in New York City. I'm here talking to New Indian Express about how life is in Big Apple during these challenging times. So this area, the New York Tri-State area, as you all know, has become the global hotspot for COVID-19. So I'm here to answer a few questions and take you through how life has in general been in these last couple of weeks. Visually, yes, you see empty sites of Times Square and Central Park. But have the New Yorkers changed? Certainly not. I talk to my friends, I talk to my colleagues. I see the same spirit, I hear the same enthusiasm in their voices. And, irrespective of what's happening right now, if one city has the ability to bounce back, then it is New York. And I think the New Yorkers will be in the forefront of it. So, yeah, there are things which could happen temporarily, but looking forward, I think New York will always be the city to be at the be the be at the apex of everything. It's very important to understand that New York and New Yorkers, they inhale and exhale liberty and freedom. So to have the city under lockdown and quarantine is really something beyond Hollywood scripts. But I would say the New Yorkers have risen to the challenge. They've been exceptional. We haven't had any incidents, we haven't seen flare ups, and I think people understand the magnanimity of the folks who are going out and doing their job there, whether it is the medical workers or the law enforcement, the administration. And I think they respect their work, and that is why the New Yorkers are staying inside their homes, quarantining themselves, and like being absolutely great. But as I said before, we really have to wait and see. We really have to wait and see how it is going to be in another 2 weeks, right? So because this cannot go on forever, everyone understands that there are livelihoods which is going to come into question, right? When this goes beyond the 4 week, 6 week window. So we'll have to wait and see. Talking about financial impact, I think it's going to be huge, right? And again, this could be an understatement. Huge is could be an understatement, because when you compare what's happening now to what happened in 2008 financial crisis. I mean, I was here in US. I was actually a Lehman Brothers employee when the company went bust. I would say that what is happening now is like far bigger in magnitude compared to what happened in 2008. In 2008, it was about subprime mortgages, it was about financial institutions, it was about like money liquidity issues for financial institutions. And hence there was a ripple effect across other industries, right? That's how we saw it roll out. And still, the cost of that crisis for US alone was around close to $20 trillion. But right now, what you're seeing is an impact across all industries, right? Everything from manufacturing, supply chain to retail has been hit. It's been shut down. This is unprecedented, right? It's like closing down everything for a couple of months and then trying to revive it and bring it back. And in the process, you see how many people could actually survive this shutdown, right? And we're not talking just about like small businesses and small stores, right? We're also talking about very big names, right? Very big corporate companies. It is all about like how much liquidity a company can have, no matter how big. You could be a person who's running a pizza shop, a deli in New York Street corner, or you could be someone who's running a big company, right? It all now matters to how much liquidity you have in hand to actually go through this crisis, to kind of like ride this rough wave, right? So that is what it's all going to be about. The government on its part, I think, has been very proactive. The administration, $2 trillion stimulus is not a joke. I think it is a very very aggressive and very good measure to actually pump that money back into the economy. But what is to be seen is how fast that money can actually reach out to the small business owners and the people who are really going to keep the economy churning out, right? So we've already heard stories from like stories in press about like how the stimulus package is getting a little cumbersome to distribute, beginning with the stimulus amount that's been given out to people, right? And also banks are actually having an issue in distributing the money to small businesses. So I think we'll have to get the process, you know in place very quickly, because there's going to be a huge percentage of these businesses which are just going to shut down because they really didn't have the capacity to live through this crisis, right? Whether it is paying rents or keeping employees, paying them, or restocking supplies, even getting those supplies, right? As I said, because manufacturing supply chain has been hit. So all these things are coming together. So I see this as a very, very big financial impact. I don't think we are definitely into a recession. I don't think I have any doubts about it. The numbers would come out in probably in 1 or 2 quarters to say that we were in fact in a recession around this time. But I think I don't see the balance sheets, and I don't see the numbers and the returns, improving or like going anywhere close to what it was last year in the next 3 quarters. So that is a very big financial impact, and that is what I know. That's what I can sense as someone who understands a little bit of like the financial world. The biggest slivers of hope are the people themselves. But I think at this point, we'll have to commend the administration across all levels, right? The federal administration, the state administrations, down to the local towns. One thing that is very important to understand is like how the local townships and the local administration have kind of like adjusted to governing the small cities and towns, because that is where it builds up from. The schools, right? The schools have been closed for like now close to 3 weeks, and the kids have been imparted online education. So as much as we thank the health workers, I think there is a big service that's being done by the local township government, workers, teachers, school staffs. These people have been working very hard to actually continue what the status quo of all these things, right? Whether it is the schools that needs to be run, whether it is your civil responsibilities, the sanitation requirements, the cleaning activities. So all this has been happening. You don't see this COVID creating situations where you see like empty streets filled with trashes on the sidelines because someone didn't come to pick that up. And that's where the sliver of hope is, right? So you really see the administration standing up to this at all levels, right? So I think this is a temporary phase. Like what will happen after this is like, yes, there will be economic impact, there will be challenges, but America will get back to its wheels, and it will lead the world. That's what I feel.